So an interesting thing happened. Well, I had like this person move in with me that has like borderline personality disorder, and he used to live with me before. Then some tragic event happened in his life, and when I told him he can move back in, you know, give him a place, after the tragic event. And after this tragic event happened, he lost the one thing that he loved more than anything in this world. So it's caused his personality to shift a bit. It's not the same person. He's a different person. And at first he was pretty stable, I guess you could say. But now certain isms are happening in his personality. And he has two different dimensions to him, I guess you could say. He's got this like heaven dimension where he's like this kind and loving soul. But then he's got this like hell dimension. And I know exactly when he goes into the hell dimension. I could see it in his face. It's quite scary. It's quite fucked up. And it's getting more and more difficult being around him. I still care about him. I still love him. But I'm starting to get scared of him. Because he has a lot of anger within. And he doesn't confront the anger like I do. He doesn't allow himself to actually express it through words or language. He bottles it. And the dangerous thing about bottlers is they bottle emotions, they bottle emotions, they bottle emotions, they bottle emotions, and they're too scared to express the anger through language or words or speech. And then they just, they blow up. And I do not want to be around when he blows up. So it's scary. But it's also a blessing, because it made me very conscious or very aware of who I am with my family and who I've been with my family throughout my entire existence. It sounded really pretentious. But it's making me aware of who I am and how I come across, and especially how I come across with my family. My close relationships with my really good friends, I never reach levels of anger or aggression or anything like that, because I'm never triggered by my friends, because I chose my friends. You can't really choose your family. And unfortunately, your family, you have such a huge history with your family that they trigger you more. They know what buttons to push, and things come up, whether it's from the past or whatever, in the present day. I've chosen not to bring up things from the past. That's a personal choice of mine, but it is a decision. It's a choice not to bring up things from the past. And if things do bother you from the past, you could talk up about it. You could speak of it. Get it out of the way. Have the hard conversation about what you are holding on from the past. What are you holding on to? It's very important. I think that's like really important for healing. If you're holding on to some tragic event in your past that has to do with family or your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and having the hard conversation to actually discuss it, you could then move forward. Right? So, what I've realized is that by living with, my new roommate with borderline personality disorder for such a long time now. It's been almost a month and a half. I realize how difficult it is to be around somebody with borderline personality disorder on a day-to-day basis, because you never know who you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the hell person, the person in the hell dimension, or you don't know if you're going to get the person in the loving, kind dimension. And then I thought about me going over to my sister's house, or me going over to my mother's house. And then I realized how selfish it is for me to do so. Because I think because of my existence in the family, whether I bring them joy from time to time or laughter from time to time, in the overall scheme of things, in the big circle of things, they're healthier without me. And they have less problems without me. So, knowing that, accepting the fact that they're healthier and better off without me, regardless if I bring them joy from time to time, in the overall scheme of things, if they are healthier without me because of my personality disorders and my other mental illnesses, it's only fair to them for me to step away. And that's, if they still want to spend time with me from time to time, they could pick me up and we could do something together or whatever the case may be. But it's extremely important for me to understand and be aware and accept the fact that they're better without me and they're healthier without me, without my existence in their life, because of my borderline personality disorder and my other mental illnesses. And I think that, it's important to realize what damage you do to others, or how you're making other people's lives unhealthy if you are. My family's way too fucking normal for me, and I think that's the base condition. And if you're a psychologist, I apologize for saying normal. I hate that fucking shit. They're too average, right? Fucking every time a psychiatrist or a doctor says well, everybody's normal, aren't they? Or everybody's mentally ill, aren't they? I hate that shit. Makes me want to fucking hit them in the goddamn face. And if you have what I have, or if you have any condition or mental illness at all, you know what I'm fucking talking about, because you've been hearing that shit since you were 5 years old. That's why I never slip. I never say normal. And when I do, I have to just cut them off right away and be like, oh, I'm sorry, average. Because when you say average, they can't combat you. Because we are the minority. We are 1.3% of the overall population. And we don't even know if those numbers are correct or not. Those numbers could be higher. But as we know right now, people with borderline, it's 1.3, 1.5. People with bipolar, it's 1.7% of the population. And then the other, 98.3% of the population, 98.5% of the population are average people without bipolar or borderline. To be continued.